As a historian, one of the biggest questions I get asked is about the historical accuracy of movies. Now, obviously, Hollywood isn't in the business of making documentaries. Films are meant to entertain. They compress timelines, heighten drama, and shape stories for emotional impact. But it's always fascinating to see what movies get right and what they change and why. And when it comes to Goodfellas, one of the greatest crime films ever made, the line between fact and fiction is razor thin. So today we're looking at 5 things Goodfellas got right and 5 things it changed. Let's get into it. Fact number 1. The Lufthansa heist and the killings after. The 1978 Lufthansa heist at JFK Airport was absolutely real. At the time, it was the largest cash robbery in American history. Roughly $5 to $6 million in cash and jewels was taken. Jimmy Burke, the real-life inspiration for Jimmy Conway, orchestrated the robbery. And just like in the film, after the heist, people started dying. Associates connected to the robbery were murdered over the following months. Some were found shot, others disappeared. The pattern strongly suggests Burke was eliminating potential loose ends. The paranoia wasn't just cinematic invention, it was real mob business. Myth number 1. The names and Tommy's size. Most of the major names in Goodfellas were changed. Paul Vario became Paul Cicero. Jimmy Burke became Jimmy Conway. Tommy DeSimone became Tommy DeVito. This was partly for legal reasons and partly for narrative clarity. And here's something else often overlooked. The real Tommy DeSimone was physically much larger than Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci's version is small, explosive, coiled like a spring. But the real DeSimone was reportedly around 6 feet tall and far more physically imposing. The personality may have been accurate, but the physical presence was very different. Fact number 2. Billy Batts was real. Billy Batts, real name William Bentvena, was a real-made member of the Gambino crime family. And yes, he was really killed after mocking Tommy about shining shoes. The insult was not trivial. Tommy DeSimone had once worked as a shoe shiner in his youth. Being publicly humiliated by a made man was serious. The murder of Batts was one of the most reckless decisions the crew ever made, because you don't kill a made man without permission. And in real life, that act sealed Tommy's fate. Myth number 2. The funny how scene. The famous funny how, am I a clown? Scene is based on a real anecdote. Henry Hill did once tell Tommy DeSimone he was funny, and DeSimone did briefly turn serious, but the extended confrontation, the tension, the theatrical pauses, that was just Martin Scorsese's cinematic brilliance. It captures the volatility, but heightens it for drama. The truth was uncomfortable, but the movie made it unforgettable. Fact number 3. The cocaine paranoia was real. By the late 1970s, Henry Hill was deeply involved in cocaine trafficking. He was also using heavily. The chaotic final day in the film, the helicopters, the frantic driving, the paranoia, all reflect Hill's real mental state at the time. While the movie exaggerates visually, Hill admitted he was unraveling. Cocaine addiction played a major role in his arrest and eventual decision to cooperate with authorities. Myth number 3. Tommy's death timeline. In the film, Tommy is killed shortly after the Batts murder, under the guise of being made. In reality, Tommy DeSimone disappeared months later, and his murder was likely connected to multiple offenses, not just Billy Batts. The film compresses events to deliver a dramatic payoff. The real story unfolded much more slowly and more mysteriously, reportedly involving future Gambino mob boss John Gotti in the killing of Tommy. Fact number 4. The mob lifestyle was that flashy. The fur coats, the nightclubs, the endless cash, the sense of invincibility. By most historical accounts, Scorsese's depiction of mob life in the 1960s and 70s in New York is one of the most accurate ever put on screen. Mobsters flaunted their wealth. They controlled unions. They had connections at airports, restaurants, and construction sites. The atmosphere of power and excess, that wasn't invented. Myth number 4. The Lufthansa aftermath was simplified. While people connected to the heist were killed, the web of suspicion was far more complex than the film suggests. Some murders remain unsolved. Some theories remain debated. The movie presents a cleaner narrative. Jimmy eliminates loose ends. But the reality was much messier, and in some ways even darker. Jimmy was definitely spearheading the mayhem, but it involved other members and some were taken out for completely unrelated reasons. Fact number 5. Henry Hill entered witness protection. Henry Hill did testify against his associates. In 1980, he entered the witness protection program after becoming a government informant. His testimony helped convict members of the Lucchese crime family, including Paul Vario. Unlike romanticized mob films of the past, Goodfellas ends with something far more historically grounded. A gangster becoming a suburban nobody. And that part was real. Myth number 5. Henry Hill's importance. Henry Hill was involved in the mafia, but he wasn't a mastermind. He wasn't planning big robberies. He wasn't at the top of the hierarchy. He was an associate, but nobody special. The film elevates his proximity because he's our narrator. In reality, Hill was more of a that guy than an architect. But that's the power of perspective. The storyteller becomes the center of the story. Now, Goodfellas isn't a documentary. It's memory shaped into cinema. It compresses timelines. It sharpens personalities. It heightens tension. But at its core, the story of Henry Hill, Jimmy Burke, Tommy DeSimone, and the Lufthansa heist is deeply rooted in reality. And sometimes reality doesn't need much embellishment to feel legendary. Leave a comment below on which fact or myth you liked and any requests for upcoming films I should cover. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Real Facts. In the next episode, we will cover the Steven Spielberg classic, Schindler's List. And as a reminder, I upload several new episodes weekly. Also, please join the Real Movie Discord. The link is in the description. And if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe for future videos. I'm Teacher Eddie, and this has been Real Facts, where we separate history from Hollywood. Catch you next time, fam.